Hello, campers. Okay, so we're going to do some Python programming this week. Um, you recall in our earlier video at the beginning of the week, on Monday, this is Wednesday now, on Monday, we discussed things like software and hardware and how software was able to allows us to make use of our hardware. Now, you've probably heard of a lot of really awesome projects, you can do with your Pi, such as robotics or turning it into a weather station and things of this nature. So in order to do that, we have to program our Pi. So this week we're going to dabble in some programming, particularly with a language called Python. So what I want to do next is do some basic things with Python so we can get a sense of how it works, how Python programming on the Pi works, All right, so I'll be right back. Okay, so here I have the Pi. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the Raspberry Pi menu. I'm going to go to Programming, and I'm going to go to Thonny Python IDE. And remember, I told you to make these recordings, I'm running it through a remote desktop, so if you notice a little lag, just bear with it. So when I do that, this comes up, and you have, this is called an Integrated Development Environment, IDE. And this allows me, in this case, to do some Python programming in a simple, straightforward way. So we're just going to start with a simple program that draws something. So first I'm going to start out by importing a library, in this case a library called Turtle, which allows you to do drawing in Python. So I'm going to type import turtle, and then I'm going to define a variable, and we'll break this down in a more step-by-step fashion soon. And I'm going to say t is, and I'm going to assign it to turtle.pen. So that basically gives me a pen that will draw on our screen. Then I'm going to start a loop. And what this is going to do is everything inside this loop is going to be repeated over and over and over again, the number of times I give it. So I'm going to say for x in range, and the range is how many times I want it repeated. So that's 100. And I'm going to put a colon. And I'm going to want the turtle with his little pen. It won't look like a turtle, unfortunately, in this case. We could do that, but we're trying to keep it simple this time. So I'm going to say t period forward x. And then I want, after it goes forward a given amount, I want it to turn left by 90 degrees. And that is a whole program unto itself. So I'm going to go up to File before I run it. I'm going to go up to File. I'm going to go to Save As. And I'm going to call it Square Spiral 1, which I already have in there. So it's going to ask me if I want to replace it. It will not ask you that because it's the first time you're doing it. And it says it already exists. Again, it won't say that for you. So you just hit Save, and then you'll save it. And I saved it right in my documents, which you can see here. Okay. Now I'm going to go to this play button, and I'm going to run the current script. And let's see what that does. So that little triangle there is the turtle, even though it doesn't look like an actual turtle. And it's drawing that spiral in squares, right? So it's moving forward, and then it's turning by 90 degrees, drawing the line again of the same distance. And it did that 100 times, and now it's stopped. All right. So go ahead and you go ahead and try to do the same thing on your Pi, and then we'll move on to the next part of the activity.